What's going on, chat? That's not the plan. Come in the building. Go ahead and tap those hearts. Tap those hearts. Go ahead and get your daily heart me. Join the tribe. If you watching on TikTok, of course. If you are watching on any other platforms, make sure you are sharing, tapping those hearts. We about to dive into a little light topic today. Just a little light topic today. Definitely sending you guys positive vibes as best I can. Come on in the building. Right. What's up, chat? Come in the building. Let me know where you watching from. Show some love in the comments. Tap those hearts. Welcome to the Hood to Hooded podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Cheapest Sunflower. All right. So I'm a little tardy for the party at this moment because, you know, I almost failed my consistency challenge today. I'm showing up hella late, but it's been a day that I needed to pause and just come on a little late. So, if you watching this on the replay, OCO to my Niji, sending love to the ancestors, sending love to the tribe wherever you are. I hope you having enlightened week. We could say an enlightened week. I know for me, I'm definitely having an enlightened week. What is going on with this? I'm definitely having an enlightened week, just learning a lot. Doing a lot of research, of course, about Niji history. And recently we went into a deep dive that I'm not really ready to reveal on the show tonight because it's going to take at least 2 hours to get through the full segment that I have to talk about. So we may do it on Saturday or, hey, even Thursday. I don't know. Friday. I don't know. But I learned some heavy stuff this morning about history, and it took me on a deep dive to uncovering and unlocking more about spirituality, just being in tune with who you are, not settling for the first piece of knowledge that comes to your ear, and being responsible for everything that enters your brain. You cannot fall back and just let people, assimilate you. Okay? So, this is, of course, Positive Vibes. This is the Hood to Hooded podcast. Thank you for following. Somebody just followed. Nakia Black. Thank you for following. I hope I said that right. The words are so small on TikTok. But yeah, thank you for following, guys. Thank you to all my supporters of this podcast. This podcast is about positivity, first of all. It's a no judgment zone with inspiration and knowledge to keep us growing as a tribe and to help us keep following our journey to success, whatever that may be in your eyes. You know what I mean? So hit that subscribe button if this is what you're down for. And we're just going to get into a light topic today. You can definitely go ahead and put any comments that you have in the chat. I just felt like with me almost failing my consistency challenge, being on like day 55, 56, 57, honestly, that's not about the audience. It's about me being an example. And today I almost didn't make it to the live because I'm just really, truly exhausted, for lack of a better words. But you know, sometimes we have to uncover the psychology behind pushing through without losing yourself, or pushing through on those times when you've been going so hard, you've been so focused, so consistent, you've been, you know, in the crock pot, you've been grinding, and maybe the results aren't there quite yet, or maybe you are seeing results and you just get to the point where you're like, I'm so tired, I just want to take a break. But it might be the wrong time for you to take a break. So for me, it's the wrong time for me to take a break because I can't do that. What's up, money bagging? Thank you for tapping those hearts. I really appreciate that. Woohoo! So this is one of those segments where we're just gonna talk about the psychology of pushing through without losing yourself. All right. So family, let's talk about pushing through. Not the toxic hustle culture that the internet worships. I get it. I've been to dental school. I already know about hustling and going hard and all of these different things. But we don't want to talk about that grind till you collapse madness. Thank you for sharing. Trade with Dr. Chad. And we got some gifter badges. Who is Tamika? Thank you, guys. True. All right. So I'm talking about the psychology of showing up aligned and not destroyed. This isn't about being perfect. Like me showing up tonight isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And sometimes with consistency, you have to do things that you might not feel like doing, but you're still capable of doing. Like I'm totally capable of showing up here tonight to inspire the tribe, even if it's not perfect. Okay? A lot of times we let the opportunity slip through our fingers. We let it slip through our fingers because we think that, oh, it's not perfect, it's too late. We come up with all these excuses. So today, we're not letting no more opportunities slip through our fingers. Okay? And how do you do that while honoring your spirit? That is the trick of it all. I'm in a field, dentistry, where I hear a lot about, you know, dentists and dentists doing things where they unallow themselves because they secretly stressed out. I'm in that field where this actually happens. So I really have to balance, like, not doing too much, being consistent, and also practicing self-care and peace. Okay? So what is the psychology of pushing through? Let's break it down intellectually, but also soulfully. Can we do that? Thank you for tapping the hearts. Thank you for following. I can't see the name. Naughty Nikki's Yacht Life. How about that? That's what I'm talking about. Having a little yacht life mindset. All right. So humans don't move from motivation. We move from momentum. See, you might think that it's all about motivation, but it's really all about the momentum. So for me, if I'm on this consistency challenge where I'm going to show up for the tribe 365 days, sometimes it may not be perfect, but if I lose the momentum and have to start over, that just kills the whole process. So a lot of us are in this season where we already got the momentum. We already on the road. We already on the journey. We already went through a couple ups and downs. We already en route to the next level. And you don't want to get rid of that momentum. So I advise you today, guys, whatever it is that you need momentum on, to keep going, Okay? Because once your brain starts, Once you start, like me, once I got on here tonight, I'm ready to flow. But before I hit the live button, I was like, when I say no, I gotta push through. And look, pushing through and y'all showing love in the chat, I really appreciate that. That motivates me to just keep going. So I can motivate you to keep going and we can kind of feed off each other. That's what it's about. So once you get the momentum and you start, like, yes, sis. What's up, Chunk? Once you get that momentum, the brain releases dopamine and you feel a reward. That's the thing about momentum. So a lot of times, life be lifing. We already know life be lifing. We already know the government be governmenting. We already know history be doing things. Generational curses still be in the works, but you gotta overcome those. That's the hardest part about continuing the journey. That's the hardest part about even beginning. If you in the beginning stages of your journey, that's the hardest part, is starting the momentum. So if you either got the momentum already, I need you to keep going. And if you don't have the momentum and you just thinking about it, I need you to start. Okay? So even if it's a sloppy start, a tired start, an imperfect start, guess what? You started. You did something a lot of people ain't gonna do, and that's step one, which is to start. Take step one. When I said, hey, I want to be this dentist, and they said it's gonna take 8 to 12 years, I said, where do I start? I didn't say, oh, hell no. Some people be like, oh, hell no. Me, I was like, where do I start? Where do I sign up? What is the process? What things do I need to get on my checklist? You got to have a mindset to know what you want with intention, with clarity. Do the research and not fall off just because it's a little challenging. Who do that? Who does that? You don't fall off when it get a little challenging. This is when you keep going, because it's going to be challenging. Before I even got into dental school, and I was just working at Econo Lodge as a front desk receptionist, doing doubles, triples, had work study job on Florida State University campus. I didn't know much. I was taking college classes, and I was like, dang, this is so hard. I used to study all the time at work. And I had a coworker. Her name was Nashira. Shout out to the principal, Nashira, in Florida. She told me, and she was at FAMU at the time, I take my kids to the hood and tell them they will have to live there if they don't get good grades. What? Upper management? Dang, yeah, I came from hood to hood, so I already know about where you got to live when you don't really become an entrepreneur, you don't really follow your dreams, you don't really, succeed. You are left with a life full of regret. But when I was in college, but people in the hood can't have good grades, I was from the hood. This is my point exactly. My mom had me at 14 years old in the hood. She was a statistic. She had a GED. She died when I was 7.5. In the hood. My daddy from the hood. So that don't got nothing to do with you being from the hood, because the hood chick was smarter than a lot of the rich kids. The hood chick was in the classes with the rich kids. I might not have had the mom or the dad in the household to show me the recipe, but I was so intelligent in the hood, seeing things well before my time, that I ain't have no choice but to succeed, because I didn't want to be a failure. So what you saying is, but it's nothing like you said, motivation, because without it, nothing happens. Exactly. I had to stay motivated in the hood. But the thing about it is, you took your kids to the hood, but to the kids already in the hood, they see this every day. We got to see the hood every day, and I didn't want no parts of that when I got to be grown. Everything in my head when I was a kid was, hell no, I don't want to be like this when I get to be grown. My mom told me before she died that I was going to go and be a doctor, even though I hadn't seen that in the hood. She spoke that into existence as a little teenager herself. That's the psychology of pushing through. So when you take your kids to the hood, they really seeing, oh, dang, they seeing it from a whole nother perspective. Like, dang, I got to, do what I'm supposed to do. Otherwise, my life ain't going to be so peachy cream. But to the kids already in the hood, who might not even ever have a chance to go outside of the hood to see what's outside of the hood, that's where the motivation has to also be. And a lot of times those kids are forgotten about. Are people who come from the hood and feel like they don't have an opportunity. That's why I feel like I had to make it through. I didn't realize it at the time that I was doing this dream for the tribe, or for the culture, or for the future children, to break generational curses, not only in my family, but for other families. And you just keep it going because someone inspired me. So the hood ain't all bad, but the hood is a trap. The hood can get you trapped up. I could have got trapped up. Plenty of times I lost my motivation, felt defeated, felt depressed, felt overwhelmed, felt like a failure, felt like I didn't have the parents, felt like I wasn't going to make it, fell down, then faced every type of trial you can almost think of, from trauma of losing a parent, from not having a roof over your head, to being in relationships that fucking drain you, to having a pivot for family, just to moving. From every aspect you can think of, you go through that when you in the hood. But is that an excuse? Is that an excuse? That's it. That's all I want to say. Is that an excuse? Hell to the no. It's not an excuse. If anything, that's your reason. When I was in the hood, my reason was, listen, I gotta make it out. I gotta get out. I might not have seen where I'm trying to go, but I gotta get out. That's why the road, the map that I followed wasn't even a map. It was going through the woods in the dark, not really knowing where the hell you going, but you got a dream, you got a passion, you motivated, and you ain't gonna let nothing get in the way of it. Some people got it, some people don't. And it ain't really all they fault. But if you got it, hold on to it. Don't let nobody take it from you. Even if you got the sloppy start, the tired start, the imperfect start, when the purpose clock in, you gonna know. Because there ain't nothing gonna get in your way. Okay? If you wait to feel ready, you gonna always be waiting. Chuck said, no way. Chunk. Thank y'all for tapping those hearts. Positive, full of love. I love it. So if you always waiting to feel ready, guess what? I'm here to break the bad news to you. Congratulations, you're never going to be ready because you're going to be waiting forever. Now, even though we talk about the psychology of pushing through when you're tired and when it's imperfect, that's the consistency and that's the discipline. But on the other side of that is rejecting hustle culture. We got to know how to work smarter, not harder. So I'm not saying go and work harder. No. Hustle culture says work through your pain. Ignore your body. Grind till relationships break. Pretend burnout is a badge of honor. It's not. With dreamers, we don't worship exhaustion. We don't treat burnout like it's some type of trophy that we get to brag about. You can push through, but don't push past your limits. When you find your purpose, it's going to teach you how to sustain it with intelligence, with strategy, with systems. That's why it's a learning curve. Hustle culture teaches us to survive, just to survive and not really have a plan. I'm here to tell us, hey, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. And maybe you plan to just hustle your ass off until you can't take it no more. And then you get burnt out, stress kills, and that's a whole nother level. So the point is to get motivated to do what you got to do, but don't get burnt out. There has to be some type of balance. And where do you find the balance? And that is resisting the urge to be perfect. Resisting the urge to be perfect also says, you know what? It's okay if I rest. It's okay if I take a couple of days off. This work, this is going to be here. if I just take a moment to listen to my body. Now, with a challenge like me, if I'm saying, hey, I'm going to stream every day for 365 days, I've already got it into my head. This is something that I want to do. That is like a goal. Even though it's a very difficult goal, it's what pushes me to show up on days like today when I'm like, dang, I'm almost to 60. I got to show up, because if I don't, I got to start over, lose the momentum, I feel bad tomorrow because I didn't go live and I didn't show up. Who wants to do like that? But I do listen to my body. You see, I showed up a little late. You know what I'm saying? All right, so it resists the urge to be perfect. Perfection is a prison. It's a prison. It has gold bars. It has a velvet wall. That's perfection. It's the prison. You stuck in it. It's beautiful, but you stuck there. You can't move. But when you show up imperfect, this is the gold mine. Unapologetic, unafraid, authentic. Whatever that may be in your life, just show up imperfect. You might not always win the first time, but you can always try again. What you gain from a messy attempt, then like if you stayed with this flawless idea in your head that you never tried, but if you try it messy, you like, okay, let me pivot. Let me try it this way. Do y'all know how many times I had to pivot to get to dentistry? I thought I was going to be a brain surgeon. In high school, I wanted to be a brain surgeon, right? And it wasn't impossible, but then I realized as I got a little older, like, oh, I don't want to do the brain surgery route. That's going to be 30 years. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got to pick something else. Then I thought I would be a MD, going to medical school. Then I'm like, dang, I don't know what kind of medical doctor. Then I thought I would be a podiatrist. I thought I would be a pharmacist. I researched all these things. I bought study books. I went and took the pharmacy tech test. Passed that. I thought I was going to go into pharmacy. I'm like, nah, that looked a little too boring for me. You got to go through these trials until you get to where you're trying to go. That's what I mean by it's not going to be perfect. It's not like I was this little kid, had the perfect setup. My daddy was a doctor and he was a dentist, and I didn't have that. It was like, what the hell you gonna do to get out of the hood? Your mama says you could be a doctor, but she ain't tell you how. She just planted a seed, and sometimes that's all you need is a seed. Somebody right now listening to this right now, they getting a seed planted. They like, you know what, Dr. Sean? You damn right I can do it. What am I waiting on? Tomorrow they gonna get up and they gonna do it. They're going to take the first step. That was me. I was like, am I going to be a podiatrist? Then I thought I would be a nurse anesthetist. I got all my hospital privileges. I went to shadow the nurse anesthetist in the hospital because I'm like, so I was this little interested kid. Like, I got to find a way out. I went there in the hospital, got to see the surgery live as just like I must have been in my early 20s, 20, 21. In the surgery with the doctors in the doctor lounge, like, and I'm like, oh, hell no, I can't be the nurse anesthetist. Sometimes it'd be like, this look way too serious. Over here playing, and that wasn't for me. And then I stumbled upon dentistry by getting inspired from another young queen who looked like me, like, dang, I didn't even know nothing about this career. And that opened up the floodgates to me being where I am now. But do you see the ups and the downs and the decisions and the research and it could have been a waste of time to other people. Like, you wasted all that time not knowing what you want to do. No, but to me, it's not a waste of time. Whatever route you own is not a waste of time. If you have a messy attempt, don't think, oh, damn, it didn't work. That's a waste of time. It's never a waste of time. It's a lesson in time. You learn something from that. If you don't quit, then you learn something from it. Because sometimes life comes and business comes and you have an idea and it don't work the first time, and you just be like, oh, it's a bad idea. No, maybe you had to pivot. Maybe you needed some marketing. Maybe you needed some branding. But you got to keep going to figure that out. Even now with a dental practice, every day is a growing experiment. Because when I first started, I thought I was ready, y'all. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to be a bit. And then now I'm 3 years in, like, what the hell? It's a learning curve every single day. Life is a learning curve. And I know life can make you sometimes feel like it's doing too much. And that's okay. Let life chill out. It's okay. Don't let it overwhelm you. You the one control your life. You control your energy. When your energy doing too much, hey, energy, pipe down. Calm yourself down. All right? Calm yourself down. Calm your energy down. Another thing that we have to point out when we talk about the psychology of pushing through without losing yourself is, avoiding negative vibes to protect your peace. This is very, very important. I talk about it a lot on the Hood to Hood podcast because I feel like protecting your vibes, protecting your peace is like golden. This means protecting what you strolling on when you strolling, protecting who coming around you bringing negativity, protecting who giving you negative vibes all the fucking time. You gotta get you some peace. What is it called? I don't know what to call it, but just some peace. And don't let nobody with it. You're going to push through your goals. You're going to push through things in life. You're not going to push through people who negative. You don't got time for that. Life is too short. You only live once. You don't got time to change people's negative ass mind and opinions, and you don't got time for that. You got to just do you. So what if they jealous? So what if they don't like it? So what if they don't understand? You do you. You ain't doing this for them. You doing this for you. As long as it brings peace. You'll know when the energy is real. You'll feel the vibrations that are real. Your spiritual immune system, that's real. So it's going to block out anything that try to tamper with your spirit. Whenever you at peace, your spiritual immune system going to be like, bad, sucker. Not today. You not messing me up today. So don't let negative people drain the flame that you're trying to build and kill your momentum. Don't mix your purpose with somebody else's poison. Because there's a lot of people out here trying to poison your dream and ambition. Because they don't got the momentum. They don't have the seed. They don't have the idea. They don't even have the passion. They didn't figure out their purpose. And they might be like, damn, how you figured out your purpose? Where my purpose at? Let me try to make them quit. Because I don't want them to tap into their purpose before I find my purpose. You know those people like that. So don't try to mix your passion and your purpose with somebody else's poison. You really got to be careful out here. Another thing, don't chase validation from the very minds that doubt you. This happens a lot when people are scared to step out of the box because they scared of people in their hometown. Listen, I had to write on somebody's thing today. Listen, your audience, they was like, oh, the hometown. Listen, your audience is global. Why you selling yourself short? So what? Stop chasing validation from people who are never going to validate you. Your first source of validation, you know where that is? On the inside. Every time you look into the mirror, you tell yourself affirmations. That's validation from the inside. Nobody can give you that. Nobody. It's from the inside. Now, if you let somebody come and take your validation, you let somebody come and make you get angry, guess what? They controlling you. They know how to control you, how to trigger you. You let them in your environment. They done messed up your dang on spiritual immune system. Now you got a virus. Now you poison. Now you sick. Now you see what I'm saying? We don't got time for that. All right? Protecting your peace is not isolating you. It is insulation. It's insulation against evil and negativity and cold hearts. That's what protecting your peace is. Within a split second, somebody can come and just ruin everything. That's why you got to be an immune tribe. Okay? So I'm going to give you 3 boundary lines that we can adopt today. Thank you for tapping the hearts. I really, really appreciate it. We at 8K. All right. So the thing is, here's number one. Here's number one, guys. I don't argue with negativity. I outgrow it. You feel me? You don't go and argue with negativity, because guess what? It's going to breed more negativity, and you ain't got time for that. Used to be people who wanted to argue with me as a teenager, and even then I realized, you know what? I got too much to lose to be arguing and fighting. That's why I never really got into fights and arguments with people. I was like, oh, you can have it. It ain't worth. Even as a teenager, I was like, oh, hell no, I got to be a doctor. I'm not finna get caught up. Nope, if you don't put your hands on me, then I don't care. I'm not going to argue with you. You're not finna, because you don't have a future. And I got a future 12 years away, or 10 years away, or 5 years away. You're not finna mess me up because you mad. You can stay mad. Stay mad. All right? That's how you outgrow negativity. Let them stay mad. You're not finna, no. Number two, don't explain your softness to people who worship the struggle. They're not going to understand your soft life. They're not going to understand your peace because they worship the struggle. They're not thinking. They're not going and meditating and just finding a peace within themselves. So sometimes you can't share that with people who worship the struggle and worship stress and worship this stuff, and they just all negativity. You know people like that. I know people like that, where you try to encourage them, motivate them, give them ideas, and everything result to an excuse. And now, before you know it, you sad and depressed because they done infected you. Now you agreeing with them. These might be people you love. You can, pray for them and wish them the well, but listen, you don't have to explain your softness to other people. Okay? And the last thing is, which is so important. It is so important. I am learning this part a little bit late in life. Because when you come from hood to hood, you can have that want to go to 0 to 100 real quick. It's like, oh, I go to... You know what? I don't match energy. I'm going to maintain my energy. I'm not going to match your negativity. No, I'm not going 0 to 100 real quick. You ain't finna have my blood pressure up, okay? No. You right. No. Okay? So don't let people take you 0 to 100 all the time, and now you can't focus, and now you in trouble or not. It's a lot of consequences when it comes to that. So that's why we have to protect ourselves, stay focused on pushing through, but knowing how not to lose yourself. And all of the things I just mentioned are ways that you can lose yourself by hustling too hard, trying to be too perfect, absorbing negative vibes and negative people, or just not understanding who you truly are, or having a passion or purpose in life. All right? So that's really all I had to say tonight, guys. I'm happy y'all hung out with me and, keep me company during this time. Let me know how you feeling in the chat. We got the 10K. All right. So tonight, with an affirmation to sum this all up. Tonight we say, I honor the version of me that's tired but willing. I'm tired, but I'm still willing. This is the version of us that doesn't chase perfection, but it chooses progress. Okay? This is the version of us that chooses peace over drama. And this is the version of us that shows up not to satisfy hustle culture, but to satisfy a calling. For example, me going live, showing up tonight, even though I'm a little tired and, dental office, and it's like, a relaxing mood right now. It's not about that. It's about me showing up to satisfy the calling. It's something that you can't deny when you have a calling on your life, when you have a purpose in your life. It's something you can't deny. You might try to run from it forever And some people run from their purpose for a long time, and they never pick it up because they intimidated of success, they intimidated of failure. They just stuck in the middle. They never pick up that little seed and say, you know what, let me try to see what this can grow and become. Needed this message. Love loves me. Sending hearts. Thank you for listening. And I'm happy that it was able to, motivate you in some way tonight. All right, guys. So no longer am I showing up as that version that's just like worried about doing it perfect. I can't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't worry about it. I had to really get out of that hustle culture for real. And like I said, this morning I did a deep dive on some history that unlocked the code for me as far as like where we got this idea to work and taxes and this whole society, this Roman-based society and history. I went really deep, and I think that really drained me earlier. And I'm going to go live and talk about it, but it's going to take like a whole 2 hours. And I need to really focus because I really think it's going to unlock something in the tribe. So I'm not a historian who just like listens to other people. Like, I found some information that had me digging. And I never even liked history, honestly, guys. I never was a history person. No. I do teeth, not history, but history has become mighty interesting. If you need you understand what I'm talking about. History has become very, very interesting. Now, I will be back live tomorrow. I don't know what the topic is going to be. I've just been kind of going with the flow, honestly. It's getting really hard. I can't even lie to y'all. When you say you're going to do something for 365 days, this is the part where, you get into it's like, ooh, I started here and I'm getting down like, up. And I just got to keep going. I got to keep going because I think that consistency is something that is a skill that all of us need. And it's something that even as a dentist, I struggle with, when it comes to this social media stuff. But it is what it is. I feel like I have a message and I just got to keep going. Keep showing up. Keep showing up, putting out good energy, and it's going to come back to me. So what are y'all plans for the week? What y'all plans is for the week? How y'all feeling about this week? I know a lot of people are boycotting the holidays. What time tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'm going to try to come on. Let's see, I got a patient. My day starts a little late tomorrow. I'll probably come on at 9 tomorrow. And honestly, guys, if you follow me, then in the notes section at the top of the profile, I'll probably start putting my go live time there because it does change, and I hate leaving people like hanging with the times. But then dentistry is just so unpredictable. My life is unpredictable at this moment. But I definitely prefer to come on in the morning than late like this. I used to go on super, super late at night, but it don't work too good unless I just have to like now. But I really feel like we covered some good information today. It was very light. Obviously somebody needed to hear it. Somebody needed to hear, don't let yourself get burned out, but also, don't take it too easy on yourself. And I feel like that's what a lot of the young kids do. I got a niece right now, and she thinking that, she just gonna be able to leave the education behind and life is gonna be easy. And I feel like a lot of people pick easy stuff in life. I mean, I like things to be easy, but that ain't what I'm saying. I mean, like, they don't really challenge themselves. You know what I mean? Like, some people really don't challenge what they can really accomplish unless they really get put into a corner. I don't know, what is the lady in Nashville? Let me find her story. Because, you know, what is her name? I can't find her name. I feel like because I'm rushing. But it was this. Well, I used to do hair while I was in dental school. Yes, I'm a braider. Unstable connection. I think my connection is dropping. But yes, I was a braider. I used to do hair in dental school. Braids, micros, Senegalese twists, all of that type of stuff in dental school. So one day I had a client whose mom, she started baking cookies out of her kitchen because they were about to get evicted. So she just had some ingredients in her kitchen. She was pushed to the limit, and she started baking the cookies. And these cookies started to sell out, and now she's a millionaire, famous, I guess, baker in Nashville. And I'm trying to find the name of it, but I can't find it. Now that's weird. It's crazy that I don't remember the name, but the story still stands. Famous started cookies in the kitchen. What is the name of it? Yeah, Google is not really helping, but I gotta find it. You know how when something is just on your brain and you just gotta figure it out? I gotta find it now. Oh man. But either way, the moral of the story is a lot of people don't really even push themselves to do what they really want to do because, you know, fear will be the first person to say no. Fear is like, oh no. Fear in your brain of something, your mind, your body wants to protect you. So it's going to try to protect you from making changes or getting out of the comfort zone. Whenever you want to do something that isn't comfortable, that feels a little bit strange, like it may be a little challenging, the first reaction is always going to be a little hesitation and fear. But you have to be in control of your fear, because I feel like fear has got the driver's seat right now for a lot of people. Let's just be honest. Fear's in the driver's seat and they just sitting in the back seat like, okay, well, where we going today? Oh, I'm scared of that. Oh, you know, you just letting fear drive your whole life around. The whole time. Well, it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to find her bakery. And I hate that for myself right now. Dang it. Okay, well, I'm going to have to do some research on that. But, like I said, the point is fear will make you pick stuff that seems easy, safe, you know, not a heavy risk. It's like, oh, you know, you want to do something easy. And I would say pursuing a career that I have, it was a lot of fear involved in that. Thinking, oh my God, I'm going into something where only 1% of the people actually get in. That will clock people out. Somebody looked at the statistics and they was like, oh, I can't be no dentist because only 1% of the people get in. So they didn't even try. They didn't even apply because they automatically saw the statistic and they said, oh, hell no. It's people like that. They won't even try because they count themselves out before they even get to the point of trying, because it's like, oh, that's too much risk. I got 99% chance of failing. It's a no. You know what kind of belief and faith you got to have in your ability And what type of psychological control you have to say, you know what? I only got a 1% chance, but I think I can do it. You know what kind of passion you have to have in your life, in your mind, to say, you know what? I have a 99% chance of failing, but I still am going to do it. That's why people play the lottery every day. They're not playing their dreams. They playing the lottery because it's easy. It doesn't take much, but they playing it knowing they have less than a 0.000% chance of winning because they overcame the fear of losing. Now imagine if people felt like this about their life and they was like, you know what? I'm gonna bet on me regardless if I lose. And if they lost, they still bet on themselves. Instead of retreating and feeling like, oh, I can't bet on myself no more, so let me go bet on somebody else's dream. And that's what's happening to the youth. They want easy things. I mean, if it's an easy way, let's not work harder, let's work smarter. But what I'm saying is, always push yourself out of the envelope. Always push yourself to get out of the box. Always test the limit. Go take that vacation if that's something that you fear. Some people even scared to take a vacation, or they scared to leave the state, or they scared to fly on a plane. They scared to get on a boat. They scared to apply for the job. They scared to take the test. They scared to be happy. They scared. What you scared of? I'm laughing with you. I'm laughing with you. I promise I'm laughing with you. I'm not laughing at you because you scared. I'm here to say, hey, you ain't even scared for no good reason. If you don't go and book that trip and get on that plane and take your trip to whatever place you want to go. When I went to Denver, that was one of the scariest trips I ever went on in my life. I was like, I didn't know America looked like this. I'm in New York. I've been to, I'm in the Adirondacks. I've been to San Diego, seen the coast of San Diego, Sunset Cliffs. But when I got to Denver, I was like, wait a minute. I was almost scared to go through the mountains, to go snow tubing and doing the activities. I was like, oh, hell no. But it was so majestic. I just can't imagine if I had to turn the car around and say, you know what? I'm too scared. I don't want to see it. I don't want to do it. It's just too much. I don't want to go. Paid the money. I just don't want to go. That's how some people do their dreams. They be like, oh no. Oh no. I can't do it. They be like, oh hell no. Some people would never see the Rocky Mountains. They wouldn't ever get to see the whole dramatic wall of peaks that is absolutely breathtaking. They would never get to see it, but it was one of the most inspirational, like breathtaking, like majestic views you could ever see. It's just like, whoa. Sometimes your eyes need to see that. Sometimes your brain need to get out of the building and go see some nature and just be like, dang, I'm missing life. I'm just missing just looking at the earth because I'm too busy wrapped up in the hustle culture. I'm too busy wrapped up being stressed the hell out every day and stressing about this and stressing about that. I'm too busy. I can't even take a break and just admire the earth. Now that's free. Going to Denver wasn't free, but it was worth it, every penny. It was so worth it. Like, that's what I mean by getting out of your fear in every category of life. In every category of life, you have to let the shackles go. YT supremacy puts a lot of fear in my people. We ain't talking about that today, but that's always a part of the fear calculation. That's always a part of the message because that's always in an everyday, it's an everyday thing. When it comes to the police, when it comes to racism, when it comes to inequality, when it comes to history, erasure, when it comes to stolen identity, stolen land, false narratives, pseudo history, pretending. When it comes to all of that, fear is always a part of the calculation. I just can't go deep into that right now because we're talking about fear and how it clocks you out of your dream and how to keep hustling without burning yourself out. And that's a tricky ratio. That's a tricky calculation as well. But you already know that fear, when it comes to who we are and who wants us to be in fear, we already know that part. But even that part, you can't make an excuse. Because your ancestors will not allow it. Your DNA will not allow it. It won't allow it. It's all a mental game. And you can't play with these type of mental games. So how you overcome it is you take fear out of the driver's seat and you get yourself back in the driver's seat. You say, you know what? I'm controlling my mind and my time. I'm no longer being controlled by depression, fear, PTSD, all these names. I'm not being controlled by that. Now I'm allowing peace to control me. I'm allowing happiness to control me. I'm not allowing all of these holidays and all of this other stuff and all of this stressful stuff to control me. Break from the matrix. Facts. Big ounce. Which is our next Niji talk. Whenever I have 2 hours to do it, because it's gonna take 2 hours, it's gonna unlock a whole nother level, just like it did for me. I got you, sis. That's what it did for me, to break out of the matrix. That's why I can't shut up, y'all, because I'm like, what the? I can't shut up. I can't stop talking. I gotta get on here. I gotta tell my piece. I gotta tell you how it is. Because I know how it felt when I was trapped, trying to get out, thinking I was out, thinking I was doing something, thinking and I just didn't have no clue what I was playing with when it comes to really being in control of your time and your mind. I had a lot of fear growing up. Fear that wasn't something that was my fault. So the fear you have isn't even your fault, but it can be your excuse. And we don't do excuses over here. We don't do excuses. Our ancestors couldn't make no excuse. They had to keep going, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep just trying to keep their name alive. Just fight, pretty much. They had to fight. Physically and mentally. We got to do the same thing right now. You got to fight with every inch of you, every piece of you, every cell of you, every blood cell, every white blood cell, every nerve, every neuron, every part of you has to be in the fight for your peace and happiness. I ain't saying the fight for millions. All of that can come. I'm talking about in a fight for your peace and your happiness. That's priceless. When your cup overflow with peace, your cup overflow with happiness, your cup overflow with passion and joy and purpose, it's nothing you can't do. You already destined for success, because that is success. It's not the printed money with Andrew Jackson evil ass on it. It's not George Washington who owned 300 plus enslaved people. It's not Thomas Jefferson who owned 600 enslaved. That ain't gonna bring you no peace. Yeah, it can bring you peace. Money buys stuff, but money can't really. You get what I'm saying? It has to be a little deeper than that. It has to be deeper than that. Excuses can't save us. Somebody said, get out of the matrix. Right. And when you get out of the matrix, you realize, damn, we can have every excuses why we ain't overcoming this, why we keep being oppressed. All of these are valid excuses. Very valid. But they cannot save you. That's what I realized growing up in the hood. I say, you know what? My mama gone. She died in a car accident when I was 7. And even when she died, I wasn't living with her. I was with my grandma, my daddy mama. And then after she died, I went to different grandmas, different courts. My dad went to go see my dad in jail, wherever he was, in the street. He had a street life. he was impacted by history. Now that I understand, so I don't even blame him for that, because we in the dirty South. You already know how the police, the slave patrol is in the South. So now that I have a lot more wisdom, I don't even blame him for that. But during those times, you have to do everything in your power to try to get out of this matrix as a young child. And you don't even know that you're in the matrix. You don't even know that you're fighting against everything that's so unnatural. You're fighting against everything that's so unnatural. I will give y'all a peek of what I did research yesterday and today, which took so much time. I asked the chat, how will America be for the indigenous American Indian, copper tone, melon indigenous Niji, right? Had there been no genocide, homicide, democide, Christianity supremacy, no Roman control, the popes who were the bishops who now really they the thieves, the biggest thieves, the popes. You know, if there was no invasion, no seizure of the land, if there was no enslavement of people's mind, physically, mentally, if there was no, you know, removal of the female trees, if the people were untainted, history had a chance to really thrive without what has happened, the atrocities that has happened from the 1400s to now. And really what I discovered is that it started at zero. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I went all the way back to zero. Because you know how we in the year 2025? I was like, well, how are we only in 2025 when there was evidence of people here on Turtle Island, the Mississippians, the mound builders, you know, the mounds, the pyramids, all that's here. The fossils of the people found here are older than Egypt. All of these different things that we've been discovering. How are we only in 2025? Then they went deeper and it was like, oh, it's just too much to go into now, but it just showed me that we are in an unnatural life. But still, guys, guess what? Even though all that happened, it's still no excuse for you to fold over and croak over and give up. Now is the time for you to fight so much harder. What's your story? You mean like my life story? Man, listen, my life... Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. This is my story. We don't have enough time to tell my story. I put my story in a book while I was in dental school, and this was a while. I haven't published it yet because I'm still tweaking it, but I told my story, and I briefly told it. It's just that my mom passed away from a car accident. My dad, he had a street life. He was constantly in and out of jail, prison. I went to see him in a jail, prison. I never lived with him, by the way. He had, alcohol, street drugs, stuff like that going on. So I was just one of those hood girls who really went through custody battles. I never went to the same school more than a year. So that was my story, and it was other traumatic things that happened in this story. But it starts from, when I was in my mom's belly. So when you ask me my story, this is my story. It's called a Dr. Sean story. And this is the first version of it. But that's like the third draft. And this is the last draft that I have before I edit it again. And it's a lot shorter. But this is my story that I wrote, not AI. And there is my Hood to Hooded, the Dr. Sean picture. This picture went viral on Facebook. It got like over 3-4 million likes before Facebook was, handing out likes. But this went crazy viral on Facebook just from telling that story. So that's how I knew that people needed to hear it, because I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. I was at dental school at Meharry, and that story went viral. I didn't want to take this picture. No, actually, I think this is a selfie that I took that went viral when I was getting ready to take my graduation picture. And I posted it, and I told my little story, and I'm like, I don't want to, and then the next day it was like viral, like in hours. That was crazy. So, that's the Dr. Sean story. And one day this will be available for you to read on your own. So I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. But yeah, this has been a great broadcast. I can't wait to read the book. That's awesome. Thank you, Big Al. Thank you, Chunk. Thank you guys for following, showing so much love, tapping the hearts tonight. I really enjoyed this broadcast, just inspiring the tribe. You guys inspire me so much, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for following, and yeah. Any last minute questions? It's all love, period. It's all love. So I guess there's no last minute questions. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good night. Bye. Oh, I'm ending it too early. Good night, Big Ounce. Good night, Chunk. Thank you, Love Loves Me. I see y'all. I'm out.